Welcome back to my channel. In the last video, we talked about the interface of 3ds Max. You know, we have started a series where we talked about 3ds Max, everything about it. So if you have not seen that video, you should go back and watch that because that'll make you understand what to find where, and that'll give you a good understanding of the basics. So let's get started with today's video. So today we're going to talk about how to basically move, rotate, and scale different objects, and how does it work in 3ds Max, and what are the different ways. If you come here at the plus sign, if you remember, that was the create panel. So create, let's take a box, click and drag, and then release the mouse and go up. I'm happy with that. Middle mouse button was pan around and right click. You see this is highlighted, so that's still in the command. So if I make another one, I can go ahead, or I can right click and come out of the command. I have no idea what size the box is, so I'll just go to this second option, which is modify. I'll change the name of the object to, let's say, cube, and I'll change the color. Double click on this color palette and let's change the color somewhat. By the way, if you're not seeing these lines on your object, that's because you have not pressed F4. So this is by default shading. So if you press F3, you can switch between the wireframe and the shading mode. And if you press F4, that gives you edged faces. Okay, I'll try to make it uniform. I don't know, I like the uniformity. So that means we have these guys, and then of course these are these segments that we can have, if you can see there. Okay, we have done that. So let's see how we can basically move around with our object. First thing you can see at the bottom here is that if you press W, that is for move, E for rotate, and R for scale. So that means if I come at W, I right click on any of these guys, that will make sure that all of these values go in the center. In the center with respect to what? So basically our grid, this is the center of the grid, and our gizmo, what is the gizmo? The gizmo is this icon basically, which shows us different axes. For example, we have X, Y, and Z axis, and then at the intersection of any of two axes, we have intersection plane, just like this rectangle, or this rectangle, or this rectangle. Okay, I come here and I see that, okay, this is the x-axis, and I want to move my object 3 feet. So you see, this was the initial position, and the center moved here, so that is 3 feet between this and this one. Now you might be wondering, how do you basically control that? Because the gizmo by default for the boxes is at the center. Just to show you, if I go ahead and create a sphere, you can see that the gizmo is at the center for the sphere, but for the box, sorry, it's not at the center, it's at the bottom plane and then at the center. So what if you want to change that? Okay, let me go back here. In order to change the position of the gizmo, what you can do is that you can basically go to the third option, click on effect pivot. So pivot is this point. Okay, the super easy way to center it, just click in the alignment panel, center to object. So what it has done is that it has made it in the center of the object, as you can see in all of the other views. Hit Alt W to maximize the view. I'll come back, and before I do that, basically if you want to change it at any random location, you can do that as well. Basically this is still active, so if you could just hit S on your keyboard, that will enable the snaps. You can see here at the top, if you right click, you can choose all the options for the snaps that you want to be active. Hit close, and now let's say I click and drag on one of these arrows, I can just move the pivot. Okay, let's say I bring it here and at the top, so it's at the top for me now. I click on this plus sign, go back. All right, so this gizmo is at this location at the moment. Now let's get started with how to basically move, rotate, and scale our objects in 3ds Max, and what are the different ways. Basically the gizmo was important because we move with respect to the pivot point. Okay, otherwise you won't know how much you have moved your object, so the understanding of the gizmo was important. So right now, if I want to move in any single direction, what I can do is that if I just come and hover over any of these axes, they become yellow. So yellow means these are like highlighted. So let's say I come on X, click and drag, I can just freely move, and then at the bottom you can see basically how much am I moving. Okay, that's the free movement. But as we have done before, if you just want to put any random value, you can just put the value and it will move with respect to that. And obviously the direction of the arrow points towards the positive direction. That's why since we put 3, it has moved that way and not the other way around. That is one way to just plug the values here. That is true for even E and R. As you can see that for E, we get the rotation, and R for scaling. We'll talk about them later on. Let's talk about the other option that we have. Whatever values we put here, these are going to be the absolute values. But we have another way. You see the arrow here? This is, if we click W, this one gets highlighted. So right click on that one. We see this dialog. It has two options. We have either the absolute absolute values, which we can put here. These are going to be with respect to the base coordinates, that means the grid in our system. And we have our offset world that is going to determine the relative values of what we have. Okay, so let's say I put 5 it. What if I put 0.5 here? What is going to be? This one should be 5.5. So see, 5.5. Why? Because this value determines what was the initial value here, which was determined here basically. And with respect to this value, this is going to be the distance, okay, relative to the absolute world coordinates. We can do this for the other coordinates as well, of course, for the y coordinates and for the z coordinates as well, 7. If we right click on any of these, we just come back to the default value. So we have talked about that. What if you want to move in two different directions at the same time? Let's say I want to move in z and y axis, or the obviously there's going to be a plane between these two axes. So what if you want to move in that plane, or what if you want to move in the plane of the x and z, or what about the x and y? So basically you come between, these are the two these are the planes that we talked about earlier. So let's say I want to move only in x and y direction, so I'll come here, this plane gets highlighted. The base principle is that move in single direction, just click on arrow, click and drag. If you want to move in two axes at the same time, just click on the rectangle or the plane made between these two axes, and then click and drag, and it will be moving in those two axes only, and then you can confirm from the bottom of the screen as well. We have also talked about how to basically do the values in absolute terms and in their relative terms as well. So we have done that. What if you want to move in three axes at the same time? Just come in the center, click and drag, and it will move in all of these three axes at the same time. Click E to move to rotate function. Go ahead, do that. Now, similar to move command, we can see the different axes being highlighted when we hover over them. So if I come and I click on this axis and I start rotating, now you understand what was the function of the gizmo. So it is the point along which the rotation, movement, or scaling is going to happen. So as you can see that I can move in any of these axes if I click on them, and if you want to move in all of these three axes at the same time, just click in between any of these guys, and then you can rotate in all three axes at the same time. Just right click to cancel the action. Obviously, it's the absolute and offset is going to work in a similar manner, just like the move function. Let's go towards the scale command. Now, scaling can be done in different ways. As you can see that we have an arrow down below. If you click, you have different options that you can explore. Okay, so basically if I come on this line, any of these lines of the axis, I can just scale in that direction. Okay, x, y, and z. If I want to scale in two axes at the same time, what I can do is that I can basically come and see these areas that are highlighted, not in the center but at the outer side. So if I click and drag, it's gonna scale in those two axes only and not in the third one. So basically you can see that the x-axis stays same goes for the other way around. Okay, cool. What if you want to uniformly scale the object? So come in the center, just like rotate and move is exactly similar. So come here in the center, the triangle gets highlighted, and now if you scale, it's gonna scale in all of the three axes at the same time. The difference between these two options that are here is that one is the option to scale uniformly. So the first option was uniform scale. If you are right click, that means I have to just give one value in the offset world and they'll do the things for us. Or if I come right click in the second option, non-uniform scaling, I can give the separate values. So typically I tend to keep it on the first option for uniformly scaling, and I can just come and uniformly scale, clicking and dragging in the center. All right guys, that's all for today. Thank you so much. This video was really important because once you get into modeling, the use of the gizmo becomes really apparent, because we are going to be doing a lot of functions with this gizmo, so it becomes really handy. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.